In this video, I am going to have a look at how to make a coffee table of around about 1.1 meter by 600 millimeters. I'm going to use Kiaat wood. Planks are 38 millimeters thick, and yeah, it's quite a beautiful wood. It's got some very nice flames on it and patterns in it, which we will see later on as well. So the first thing to do is to look at the different planks and make sure that they are straight first of all, and then secondly that the patterns of the wood feed into one another and that the grain of the wood all run in the same direction for the tabletop. So these planks I've already had cut and I've planed them. So putting them together, making sure that it will flow nicely once it is glued together. And yeah, there you can see I'm looking at the different patterns in the wood and making sure that everything works nicely. Okay, so first thing to do is to mark the different planks, and there you can see that I've marked them with different numbers, and also just put some marks on to, you know, that it reminds me where the planks fit together with one another and in the sequence that I need to glue them at the end of the day. The marks that you see there is for the that's for the biscuits that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a number 20 biscuit, and I'm going to put the different biscuits in where I marked it. Not really necessary to use the biscuits because it's not such a big table, but it gives some strength to the tabletop, and we're going to cut some grooves in there where the biscuits are going to fit in at the end of the day. So here you can see I've cut the grooves in, 3 grooves per plank, and we will then insert the biscuits there. There you can see the biscuit is sticking out, and one needs to make sure that everything fits nice and neatly together. And there you can see there's quite a nice fit, not a lot of gaps between the wood, because then it will show up once the wood has been glued as well. So make sure that it's nice and tight. Okay, so here I've put on the glue and inserted the biscuits as well. Make sure that you put glue on the biscuits as well. On the other plank that must go next to that one, I've also put the glue, and here the whole tabletop is glued together with clamps. One needs to make sure that you when you clamp it, that it is as flat as possible, and there you can see I've used the clamps to do that, to make sure that it's nice and straight and flat. Otherwise you need to sand quite a lot, that you don't want to do. And there you normally clean up the glue after you've clamped it with a wet rag. Otherwise it becomes really difficult to get it off once it is dry. And also yeah, you just need to make sure that everything is nice and tight. Don't over tighten it, otherwise you're going to warp the top of the table, but nice and tight, and leave it for a few hours to dry. Now here the the top has come out of the clamps, and I've cut it down to size already, and here you can see it looks quite nice. I'm quite satisfied of how it came out. Also what I've done, I've cut a bevel on this side, a little bit of a bevel on the bottom side, because it really looks nice if you cut a bevel in there. And now it is ready for sanding. Here I've sanded down the wood, starting with an 80 grit up to 320. Looks quite nice, and here you can already see the nice patterns that are coming out of the wood, and we haven't even varnished it at this stage, but it looks really nice. It's nice and soft and flat, and you can't really see where the whole thing was put together and glued together. Okay, so here I've put the first varnish on the back side, and there you can see the difference between them, and now you can see the wood really coming out and how beautiful it looks with all the different patterns in the wood. So yeah, I like working with Kiaat. So once I finish with that, I'm starting to put the legs on. So we're going to use some screws for the inserts and screws for the legs. Made the holes there, putting the inserts in, also gluing the inserts to the wood, because you need to remove the legs at a certain time, the inserts don't come out. So there the insert goes in, and you put some glue on that as well, and on top of that you put the screw in there, and you screw the legs down at the end of the day to the underside of the tabletop. Here you can see all 4 of the legs has been screwed onto the tabletop. I've made them all look black, and the screws as well. And here is the finished product, the finished table that's been sanded down and varnished